So now let's go ahead and use a multiplication with an area model with 3 by 2-digit multiplication. So we are going to take each one of these numbers and write them expanded form. Then we're going to create our area model, multiply, and then add. So let's go ahead and create our area model and expand our numbers. So we know this is going to be 400 plus 30 plus 7. So those numbers are going to go across the top, 400 plus 30 plus 7. Then we're going to take our 23 and expand that out going down the side, and we would have 20 plus 3. All right, so that's going to help us go ahead and know how many quadrants we're actually going to have, or actually how many sections we're going to actually have, because we're going to have more than a quadrant here. So wherever there's a plus sign, I'm going to draw a line all the way to the other side. And that's because we're going to take 3 times 7, 3 times 30, and 3 times 400. Then we're going to take 20 times 7, 20 times 30, and then 20 times 400. We need to make sure we multiply all the numbers. So let's go ahead and get started here and write out our problem. So for this one, we're going to have 400 times 20. Going across, we're going to have 30 times 20. And then for the last box on the top, we're going to have 20 times 7. Now, it doesn't matter which way you write these. You can flip them. So you might not see that I do it consistently the same way, but you can actually write 20 times 400 or 400 times 20. Now let's go to the bottom row, where we're going to take 400 times 3. So 400 times 3. Then we're going to take 30 times 3. And lastly, we're going to take 7 times 3. All right, so let's go ahead and do these. We're going to actually multiply the first digit of each number. So we're going to take 8 times, so we're going to take 4 times 2, which is 8. Now it's actually 400, so that means it's 100 times larger. So we're going to add our 2 zeros because it's actually 400, not just 4. And then we also have a 20 that we multiplied by, so we're going to add 1 more 0 to make it even 10 times larger. Okay, so we're going to take each one of these zeros and bring them down here. Then we're going to take 3 times 2, which is going to be 6. Now it was really 30, so that means it's 10 times larger, and it was actually 20, which makes it even 10 more times larger. So our final answer is going to be 600 on 30 times 20. Then we get to the last box on the top, and we have 2 times 7, which is 14. And that was actually times 20, which means it's going to be 10 times greater. So we add our 0 there. Then we come down to our bottom row. And on this one, we're going to take 4 times 3, which is 12. But it was actually 400, which means it's going to be 100 times larger. So we're going to add our 2 zeros here, showing that it's 100 times larger than 12. Then we take 3 times 3, which is 9, but it was actually a 30. So we're going to add that 0 down here. And finally, we're going to do our 7 times 3, which is 21. Now we're going to add all of these numbers at the same time. Now you can actually just add 2 at a time or 2 or 3 of them at a time, as long as you add them all together once you're finally done. But let's go ahead and try adding them all together at the same time. So we are going to start with 8,000. The most important thing here is to make sure that you are lining up your ones, place, your tens, your hundreds, and your thousands. Okay, so we started with our largest number, which is 800. We're going to add in our 1200. That's our next largest number. So I just like to go from least to greatest, or greatest to least actually. So our 1200, notice I've got my thousands together, my commas are together, and my hundreds, my ones, and my tens are all in the same column. Then I go to 600, so I'm going to move my 6 over to my hundreds place, put 2 zeros because I have no tens and no ones. Then I'll put my 140, making sure I line up my hundreds and my tens. Then I've got 90, which is going to come over here. And then I've got 21, always making sure that you have nice, even columns, okay? So let's go ahead and add these up. 1 plus nothing is 1. All right, and I like to group these. I want to do the 2 and the 4, which is 6. Plus 9 is going to be 15, so I'm going to put a 15 there, carry my 1. And then I have 200 plus 600 plus 100 plus 1 more 100, which is going to be 1,000. So I'm going to put a 0 here because I have no hundreds, but I do have 1,000, so I'm going to carry that 1 over. And then we have 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 8,000, which is actually going to be 10,000. So we would say our final answer for this multi-digit multiplication problem is 10,051. Okay, so that is how you can use the area model for 3 by 2 digit multiplication.